It's been over 5 years since Simon Basset, the Duke of Hastings, first walked into the glittering world of Bridgerton, yet for many of us it feels like he never really left the ridge. Regé-Jean Page brought Simon to life with an intensity and a grit that made the character a permanent fixture in our hearts. He wasn't just a brooding duke, he was a man wrestling with the ghosts of his past, the kind of internal battle we've seen in some of our favorite frontier heroes. From that very first ballroom glance, you could feel the weight he carried and the walls he'd built around his soul. Welcome back to Wild West Screens. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the legacy of the Duke, why he walked away from the Ton, and whether the trail might ever lead him back home. Season 1 of Bridgerton was a powerhouse. It introduced us to a family we grew to love, but it was Simon and Daphne's high-stakes romance that anchored the world. Page's performance gave us a man determined to remain unbound, vowing never to continue his line, only to find that love was the one thing he couldn't outrun. It was a perfect arc with a clear beginning, middle, and end, and Page's performance made it feel lived in and real. Fans fell in love instantly. Simon Basset became more than a character. He was a cultural touchstone. Even after the show shifted focus to the other siblings, his absence left a palpable gap in the Bridgerton universe, one that many of us are still hoping to see filled. Choosing the long trail. Despite the overwhelming love, Regé-Jean Page made the calculated decision not to return for Season 2. He's always been clear about his reasons. It was a one-season deal. It's a one-season arc. It's going to have a beginning, middle, end. Give us a year, I thought. That's interesting. Because then it felt like a limited series. I get to come in, I get to contribute my bit, and then the Bridgerton family rolls on. He even noted that if the producers had chosen to recast, he wouldn't have stood in their way. His choice wasn't about rejecting the world he helped build. It was about respecting the story they told, a story that had found its natural peace. Phoebe Dynevor, who stayed on for a brief Season 2 cameo, shared a similar sentiment. I did my 2 seasons. I've done what I wanted to do with that character, and she had a great arc. If they ask me back in the future, who knows? Showrunner Jess Brownell has made it clear. The door isn't just open. She's actively keeping the lantern lit. She stated she would love to have all the original leads come back one day, though no formal talks have happened with Regé just yet. In the scripts, the show has subtly acknowledged Simon and Daphne's presence. They are hypothetically there at weddings and family funerals, even if the camera doesn't catch them. Brownell explains that they don't want to bring them back just for a one-liner. Logistically, we want to make sure we bring them back when we have something really meaty for them. To have them come back to say a line at a funeral and just prove they were there, it wouldn't feel right. This keeps the hope alive for a return that actually carries some weight, perhaps as mentors for the younger siblings, Hyacinth and Gregory, as they eventually find their own paths. Since leaving the Ton, Regé-Jean Page has been busy carving out a diverse filmography. It hasn't all been smooth sailing. His villainous turn in The Gray Man got mixed reviews, and Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves was a critical hit that struggled at the box office. But 2025 was a massive year for him. He starred in the spy thriller Black Bag with Cate Blanchett, which pulled a staggering 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right now, he's in post-production for the Netflix rom-com You, Me, and Tuscany, alongside Halle Bailey, hitting theaters April 10, 2026, and has a lead role in The Count of Monte Cristo on the horizon. Just this past weekend, on March 21, 2026, fans got the closest thing to an on-screen reunion we've had yet. Regé-Jean Page and Nicola Coughlan, our very own Penelope, reunited during the debut of Saturday Night Live UK, hosted by Tina Fey. Sharp-eyed viewers caught the two of them embracing and laughing as the credits rolled. Page described the reunion as delightful, praising Nicola's comedy chops. Naturally, the press used the opportunity to ask about a Bridgerton return. Page's response was characteristically sassy. When Leah Henry asked on the red carpet if he'd ever come back, he quipped, "You know, it's funny you say that because I'm not on the internet." When pressed for a maybe, he simply said thank you very much and moved on. It's that same air of mystery that made the Duke so magnetic in the first place. In the end, Regé-Jean Page's legacy as Simon Basset is secure. He created a character that transcends the screen, and while his return is still a maybe in the wind, the door remains open. Whether he returns to mentor the next generation or simply to show us a man who has fully embraced the joy he once feared, will be waiting at the gates of Cliveden. What do you think? Should they bring back the original Duke for a meaty storyline, or should we leave Simon and Daphne in their happily ever after? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Stay gritty, stay wild. I'll see you on the next trail.